Welcome to the Hanford Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside the top dog.
My voice. What happened to my voice? I think I could get it a little bit better than. There we go. There we go. God
That's got us feeling
damn
good.
it.
Yeah.
There we go. What's wrong with me?
You know, your outfit's so sharp that, I don't know, even your voice was startled.
Hey, don't you start with me today. I knew you were going to say something before I walked through that door with this white shirt on and black slacks
Yeah.
and shoes and
Hanford's working on a little commercial work out here.
no flip-flops today. Well, you know why I'm happy today, guys. Was it the French Open? That's what it was, right? I think
it was.
it's the French Open. Coco Golf.
Isn't ready for him to go tennis
I know,
right off
tennis
the rip.
off the jump.
Well,
is crazy.
you know, this just
it was
popped up.
It was a good weekend of tennis, guys.
it was
oh my god,
great.
The men's final, the women's final is phenomenal.
It was just unbelievable
Okay.
with the tennis world this weekend, and that's
And
why.
Coco wins her first Grand Slam title.
Yes, and she was just so gracious after the win, and just saying all the right things, and I just think it's crazy. I just think it's crazy. I don't know why that hit me all of a sudden. I was going in another direction, but that hit me, and I had to come right out. With
Yeah,
it.
and now I had to get a little reading up on this.
Yeah,
stuff.
because
That's exciting.
And normally I know Gab will she'll beat up on me later because I jumped all off script on that one. So you have
that's your
I have
regular-
to apologize for that.
Top dog, that's kind of like your middle name right there.
That's funny though, guys, because Coco Gauff, she was, if you remember correctly, 16 years old, I think it was,
Yeah.
at the U.S. Open when she first really made waves. I think she made the round of 16. It was, but she draws a lot of comparisons because she's a young black woman in America.
Yeah.
So there's the Williams sisters, right?
Yeah.
So it's really great to see her win. I would have loved to see her win the U.S. Open, but it's great to see her win her first major because Alcaraz, who won on the men's side, he's only like 21 or 22. Coco's 21, 22, if that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the youngsters are coming, guys. It's a new era in tennis.
Getting off tennis,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's see where he's going now.
I'm a little bit upset right now.
Ooh, do tell.
And I'm upset with the Guardians. This is the reason why I'm truly, truly upset. Big Christmas.
I knew it.
Yeah.
You knew where I was
This
headed
day
with
was
this.
coming, Hanford.
Listen, it was kind of like the elephant in the room. We hadn't been chatting a lot about him, and we didn't want to tell you like Christmas is canceled or anything, but
Yeah, it was kind of
moves
canceled though.
Moves had to be made, and I was gonna check on you.
You got to let him play. You got to just let him hit out of that slump that he's in. I mean, you got to play him. You got to play him. You got to play him because I'm telling you, that guy's gonna be. He could be a big, big bat for us. He could be an intimidating player up there when he comes to the plate. Look how big he is, and when he gets a hold of that ball, I mean, it's gone.
He just probably needs to work out some things.
I know.
That's how it goes.
But I had to get that off my chest about big Christmas. I just had to, and now that
Do you have anything to get off your chest about Nick Chubb leaving us?
you had to go there. You had to go there with me. You had to go there with me.
It's a Browns show.
right.
We could listen. You and I could talk guards all day.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes in the Guardians right now, Hanford. A lot of changes in the AFC North, Gab. We got to get to them after the break.
Yeah, maybe we should save it for after our first break.
All right, we'll save it to after the break, and then we'll jump in there.
We'll be back right after this. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our Browns headlines, brought to you by our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. And if you've got a kitchen remodel on your radar, you can skip the stress, skip the sticker shock, and go see our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. You'll be able to get a full 10x10 kitchen for just $25.99. That includes all the features you actually want. So soft close drawers, the full extension glides, and the latest designer styles, not particle board junk or whatever the big box stores are trying to pass along for double the price. And here's the best part. You don't have to figure it out all by yourself. Northeast Factory Direct has a great team of designers. They're going to make this process so much easier than you think. It's built into their whole process. You bring in your measurements. They help you design your dream kitchen using their big screen 3D rendering system, and you see exactly what it's going to look like before you commit to anything. It's fast, simple, and it's free. No pressure, no sales pitch, just helpful people who actually know what they're doing. They even have countertops and flooring, so you can tackle your whole remodel in one place. Call the nearest location or go to northeastfactorydirect.com to book your free design consultation. And don't forget to ask about the Hanford Dixon bonus.
You talked about it, that Hanford Dixon special. All you have to do is just go there and don't mention Gab name, okay? Mention the top dog. Just say the top dog sent you, and that way you could get that Hanford Dixon special. You go ahead and mention Gab name, you still get the Hanford Dixon special.
You're so kooky. I missed you.
Oh, she's talking about my laugh.
One week away from Hanford is entirely too long. We need that laughter because the reality is it's a little bit of a sad time for Browns fans.
Yeah.
We're nostalgic about Nick Chubb and our next chapter change without him. But, we should dive into the history books just a little bit here on his career in Cleveland. 2018, we get this guy in the second round. Let's take a look at some of his stats. His first game, that Raiders game. You had something teed up, right, Hanford?
Yeah, that's where Nick really got started during that Raiders game. I mean, this guy, guys, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Check out his first year in the league. Obviously, Gab just said was 2018. He had 3 carries for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. 3 carries. And again, that was week 4. That was that performance against the Raiders. I think back then, was it still the Oakland Raiders? It's the LA Raiders now. I think back
Oakland
then,
Raiders.
Yeah, I think back then it was the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, because I can vividly remember, guys, he was running across that infield at the old Oakland Coliseum and just tearing down the sideline across, by second base, basically running 3 carries for, 2 touchdowns and 180 yards, something ridiculous like that.
Pat, what's crazy is, then we kind of, Gab, we thought Nick Chubb was going to be a good running back or great running back. We just didn't know how good he was going to be. We was always hoping, but check this out.
He came out of the gate like a little lightning bolt.
We had a running back that we thought was pretty good then. We had a guy 2 weeks later after Nick Chubb put up those numbers, Pat. Who is the running back that we got rid of? I know you guys know this because I'll give you guys a little hint there.
I bet if you give us
Ohio State guy. What's his name?
Man, Carlos Hyde.
Carlos Hyde.
A forgotten Brown. One of the most forgotten Browns. We had Terrell Pryor and Carlos Hyde. Shipped him off to Jacksonville, right, when Urban Meyer was the coach, I believe, and got what did you say, a 5th round pick for him?
Yeah, we got a 5th round pick for him.
I would have taken a couple of footballs and a helmet, honestly, for that guy at that point, but whew.
But guys, listen to this. And again, we're talking about Nick Chubb. This guy, throughout his career, obviously he played 7 years here. And in 7 years, I think he almost had, I think he just came short of 7,000 yards, which would have been 1,000 yards in each one of those seasons.
Yeah.
But listen to this right here.
Well, wasn't he on pace to break a record in the NFL for
yes.
yards per carry something? He really, it's sad to see how his injuries went. What were you going to say?
I was going to say in week 10, that same year, his rookie season, he had a 92-yard run against the Atlanta Falcons. 92 yards. And guys, by the way, that was a Browns record at the time that he ran those. 92.
That's the famous Jim Donovan Chubba Wubba Hub call.
We should. It's too bad we can't play highlights on.
Yeah,
this
exactly
show.
right. We can't play the highlight, but everyone knows what we're talking about when we say Chubba Wubba Hub. That another classic Jim Donovan call.
Oh.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys how you felt about this, though. But the fact of the matter is, and I know where the Browns were thinking, and I know where they were going with this whole thing when they're catching a lot of heat because obviously letting Nick Chubb get away. But guys, in the last 2 seasons, he's only played 10 games. 10 games in the last 2 seasons. We know he's had an operation on that knee twice, and also he hurt his foot. Now, this whole thing, and I don't know if they've announced it already, but I know you have to pass a physical before he truly sign with the Texans, with Houston. I know he's got to pass a physical, and I don't think he'll have a problem passing that physical. But I don't know of anyone, especially us, that don't still, even though Nick Chubb is not with the Cleveland Browns anymore, I don't know anyone that don't want to see this guy do well, don't want to see him go out and have a great year. We want him to play well. If we're playing him, we don't want him to play well against us, but we'd like to see him play well. But, guy, it's still kind of sad to see Nick Chubb not being with the Cleveland Browns anymore.
Yeah.
When you agree with that?
I think that it's not like we didn't see something like this coming.
Yeah.
But it's certainly, if you're a Cleveland sports fan, Cleveland Browns fan for sure, you knew Nick Chubb's name and you knew all the positivity he brought, not just on the field, but just he had good juju. People love the guy. And just the way his personality was, which is kind of ironic because he was the opposite of so many personalities in the NFL, but that's what made him captivating. And he was Batman. And
oh, my God, he never spoke. That was the funny thing is, like, him and Miles working in tandem, right? We drafted Miles in 2017. Quiet, put their head down types, just working. What did, Gab, I'll ask you this. What did that era represent, 2018, when the Browns started to really, like, come back up from the 0-16, 1-15 years? Did you feel that hope back then? And, you know, like 2018 when we had Nick Chubb, David Njoku, those guys?
Yeah, you know, I think that it was also at a good time because if you think of other Cleveland sports around that time, like, remember how euphoric 2016 was, for example? It felt like when the Browns started to get these elements and pieces in 2018, it kind of felt like, oh, snap.
That's right.
Like, we got something, because also in 2018, they were the Indians at the time, but we were still really good. We were still AL Central champions, and we did pretty well. I don't remember the exact what we did that postseason, but we were in it. And what were the Cavs doing in 2018?
Man, they made the finals again.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, it really felt like when you got Nick Chubb in the building, you knew that he was going to be a hard worker. You knew he had the leg injury, the gruesome leg injury at Georgia. But you started to have the pieces. It felt like, you know, Baker Mayfield's in there. You got some pieces, but it was a difficult one to see him in a new uniform, seeing him in a Texans jersey swap where he's going to be headed.
Odd. Yeah.
Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what's funny, though? Listening to you guys talk about it, and Gab, you talk about the Browns and how they were coming, and then obviously you mentioned the Cavs, and then you mentioned the Guardians and how they were doing those years. But, you know, guys, when you look at it, regardless of how the Cavs and the Guardians do or what they do, this has always been a Browns town.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it always will be a Browns town.
Yeah.
Because the Browns, Pat, you're talking about them headed back up, the trending back up at that time. Even when these guys level out, like even last year, guys, we only won 3 games, and every single week at that stadium, it's been pretty much a sold-out crowd, 67,000 plus down there each and every week. Everybody loved the Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. This is a Browns town. But, Nick, please, Big Dog, please, if you play against us, don't hurt us. Don't hurt us, because, you know, he's going to have that little extra juice if he's playing against the Cleveland Browns. A little extra juice. But that's all right. We still love you, Big Dog. Wish you well.
We do. We wish him the best. What a Cleveland icon. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It is time for our Lipton Hard Iced Tea hard-hitting question of the week.
I can't wait. And we're not going to do it right now, but I can't wait.
We got some news to get to.
Till we talk about those goddamn Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh,
That's all right. We're not going to talk about it now, but it's coming.
Good teaser.
All you damn Steeler fans.
Okay, excellent teaser there. Let's stick with the Nick Chubb news here briefly. Do you think that these rookies are going to be able to carry the load in his absence? You know, what do you think about the crew that we've got?
I think so, and I think one of the big points I mentioned just a few minutes ago, I was talking about the availability that Nick has been. Like, he hasn't been around the last 2 seasons. He's only played 10 games. And I think that's why we went out and we drafted the 2 young kids, one from Tennessee, and I think that's Sampson, and then the other kid from Ohio State. And I think these 2 guys, I'm really excited about it. I am really, really excited. If there's one room that I'm really excited about, it's that running back room. Because don't forget now, we still have 2 other guys who's still in there. We got Pierre Strong, and then we got Ford. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think, guys, and you guys tell me what you think about this. If you think I'm wrong. I think what it's going to come down to, I think those two rookies, I think they're going to make the running back room. I think it's going to actually come down to maybe a Ford or Strong. I cannot see both of those guys making this roster. I think it's going to be one of those guys and the two rookies. And then I think we're going to be up and running. I think we're going to be up and running and ready to go because I'm telling you, I think the running back room is super, super strong because those two backs, these two guys, I mean, they can run it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can run it. I mean, and because we all watched them in both of them, two big-time programs, Ohio State and Tennessee. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Those two programs. So
yeah,
we'll see. But I'm kind of excited. I can't wait to watch this and then see those guys progress.
Yeah, the Browns are gonna go back to the Stefanski's old wide zone run scheme. So, I mean, we've got a lot to look forward to. I know it's difficult, and we're still in these shows where it's like we're not playing meaningful football yet, but just
but you know what they're doing, Gam? And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
You know what they're doing? At this stage right now, they're getting ready.
Yes.
I mean, I think we just finished with OTAs, and this week we have a mandatory minicamp is going to start. And, boy, that's when all the fun starts. I mean, that's when all the fun starts because in that mandatory minicamp, it's just what it says, mandatory. Everybody's got to be there. Everybody pretty much that's under contract, unless you have one of the guys that is trying to get a new contract and they get a little bit upset and then they're not going to show up.
Yeah.
But other than that, everybody's going to be there. And that's what I like about it because you have, like in OTAs, I'll give you an example. They have what they call a 7-on-7 drill and then a 7-on-7 drill. They kind of do a little bit. But in the mandatory minicamp, you have the one-on-ones between the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman, between the linebackers and the running back, between the wide receivers and the defensive back. Yeah. I mean, you go at it. I mean, you really get a chance to see, watch the cream rise to the top, and that's why I'm so excited about it. But I hear you and I agree with you. But now is the time to get it going. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and people are getting excited about it for good reason.
Yeah, I think, honestly, too, we kind of talked about the 2018, when we drafted Nick Chubb, we had Baker Mayfield and Myles Garrett. Yeah. It kind of feels like that a little bit right now where you're going to go back into the wide zone offense like Gab mentioned, but also you've got these new young kids. You got to see what they've got. Jerome Ford, he'll be back on the restructured deal. I don't have a whole lot of hope for him. I think he's a good back, but I think Judkins and Sampson, they've got a chance to be that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt that we were looking for in 2018, 2019. There's a lot of hope coming out of Berea, and honestly, it just feels like that. Once you turn the calendar to June, you're like, okay, when is September going to get here? When are the preseason games? When is the home opener? It's starting to get a lot of hope here in Cleveland.
You know why I'm laughing, guys? Because you guys will not say this, but I know you're thinking this.
That we're delusionally hopeful? No, I'm just kidding.
No, out of those two backs that we drafted, you guys like Sampson because he's the kid from Tennessee. Yeah, you like him.
No, I'm on Judkins.
You think Ohio State running back? Come on, God damn it, come on.
He's just trying to.
I'll take whoever gets me touchdowns. I do not care.
Yeah, that's a
brown and orange. That's the only color I care about.
You know what, Pat? Tell you the truth, I'll take that too. But there's other needs on that that offense and defense.
And you know what? We're gonna get to that too. Let's take a quick break. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our Top Dog Pick 6. This is introduced to you by our friends at Smart Choice Windows. If you've been thinking about upgrading your home this spring, you got to look no further than Smart Choice Windows and Smart Choice Bath. Smart Choice Windows is running a great deal right now. Buy 2 windows, Hanford, and
get 2 free.
Not bad. We love
2 free.
We love free. They are also offering 0% financing for 24 months, or if you prefer, they also have that no down payment option with monthly payments as low as $199. Some restrictions apply there. If your bathroom needs an update, the same great team at Smart Choice Baths has you covered. They're offering $1,500 off a brand new shower or tub this month. So if you've been putting off that remodel, now is the perfect time to go for it. If you're ready for quieter, more energy-efficient windows or a bathroom that finally works for your life, make the call, dial 440-WINDOWS, or head over to smartchoicewindows.com and smartchoicebaths.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate today. Okay, here's the deal, Hanford. We're talking about Top Dog Pick 6. When you look at the offense and the defense, who are you picking? Which areas of need for improvement?
Boy, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to start with the defense because that's, I think that's a pressing need. I'm going to go with on defense, the safeties, because when you look at it, I think we have Thornhill that left. He's no longer with us. Rodney retired. The Anthony Bell, we did not sign him. And I think that leaves Ronnie Hickman. I think that leaves him, and so he's. Those are the only two safeties that are still. And Grant, I forgot all about Grant. You know, I forgot about my boy here.
Our guy.
Grant's still there. So I think that's an area of need that we have to address. I think we have to improve that area, and because I think overall when you look at everything else on defense, I think it's pretty strong because we know that defensive line, and then you guys know what I always say: the game is played and controlled on that offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. So I think that's what we have to do. Now let's go over to the offense. I think one area that we have to figure out what we're going to do is that left tackle. Now we know we have DeJuan Jones there. Now, that's an area, obviously, hopefully he can hold that down, and I think he will be because, you know, you guys know I ran and rave about him, talk about how massive he is, how big he is. I mean, I was standing up looking at him, and then I was just looking up at him. I mean, that guy is just huge, and he looked like a little kid. I mean, he looked like he's about
got a little baby face.
Yeah, he looks like he's about 17.
He's a young guy.
He's a young guy, but not 17. That's what he looked like. He's about 16, 17.
He's slimmed down a little bit too, Hanford, so his playing weight is probably going to be a little bit down this season, which I think is actually a great thing. Move a little bit, gain some more mobility. He's still got that great reach too, but he's going to be critical.
Yeah, and we all know that's an important position. But boy, the rewards of that, if he's pretty good. I mean, because those guys, those tackles get paid a ton of money. I mean, a ton of money. But the number one area that we really going to have to is the wide receiver. I mean, because when you look at it, we got Jerry Jeudy, and we know what Jerry could do. I mean, we want him to – I think Jerry went over 1,000 yards last year, and we want him to come back and perform the way he's been performing. And it was so funny when I was over at practice, I had to give him a hard time. Roll Tide! You know, he liked that. He wanted to come up and he wanted to talk a little bit, but I think he's our number one guy. Guys, it's time for Cedric Tillman to come around. I mean, it's really time for him to show up and show out because he's a big target, like I said, and we really need him. We got David Bell. We're hoping to get some production out of him. David Bell is kind of a speedster guy too, isn't he, Pat? He's really fast. So
good hands too.
So Gabby, hopefully we can get some out of him. Now,
do you ever have favorites?
You know what?
Sometimes I have favorites, and it's just because I like personality and play. Like I'm really pulling for Jerry. I just love Jerry Jeudy. Also, we have the same birthday, so some of it's relevant, some of it's not. But do you have any favorites of the that you're kind of silently pulling for? I know we're kind of trying to look objectively at everybody.
And what did I say about Jerry Jeudy?
It's the biggest one.
Yeah, but where is he from?
Are you talking about last year? Or
Roll Tide. God damn it! It took y'all long enough to catch up to speed with that. What's wrong with y'all today? I mean, you guys know exactly where I was headed with that damn thing.
That's right.
I mean, I cannot.
Maybe we were just playing a little dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. But
how could we forget?
Talking about another speed guy, is it Jamari Thrash? Is that a fast guy, Pat? I mean, he is another one that we need to get some production, and then also Johnson, Deontay Johnson, who we just brought aboard. So I think that's going to be a crucial area talking about the wide receiver because, guys, when you look at it, you look in that quarterback room, we have some quarterbacks that can get the ball to them. We just need some guys to throw the football to. And how can I not talk about that quarterback room again?
Yep.
I have to do that. I mean, I just have to do that. I think what's going to happen is probably one of those guys going to go on IR, and I don't have to call his name. I don't want to jinx him anymore. I mean, we paid him so much goddamn money. But you know what? He's probably going to go on IR. And, boy, the battle. And Pickett, I don't know, guys. Do you guys think we're probably going to trade him?
Trade him.
I mean,
think so.
Is that the thought?
Is
I'm on the
trade.
I'm on the trade train, I guess you could say, Kenny Pickett. There's a lot of teams out with the Saints. They don't have a quarterback at all, really. Spencer Rattler's not going to be the guy for them. I think if they want to be competent, they could trade for a guy like, Kenny Pickett. I would take Chris Olave in return if they'll have him. But other than that, I'll take like a fifth for Kenny, which is strange because we did bring him in for, I think it was a fifth this offseason. But that was when we didn't really have any, concrete plans. So the draft hadn't happened yet. Joe Flacco hadn't even signed yet. Kenny Pickett trading for Kenny Pickett for a fifth-round pick was kind of surprising in the moment, but that doesn't mean you're tied down to that guy. That doesn't mean, you traded up for Shedeur Sanders. You're more tied to him than you are to Kenny Pickett. So I see him being the one in the musical chairs without a seat.
I agree, and I think that would be a luxury to have. If that would just tell us if we're able to trade him, that'll tell you how good everybody else in that quarterback room is playing right now.
Yeah.
So and again, I'm not opposed to Flacco starting the season off because he's a wily veteran, the guy that probably gonna win us a few games, and then after that, I mean, who's gonna fall into number 2? And then who's going to be number 3? That's going to be the big question. But you guys already know who I think is going to take over. I think before long, Shedeur is going to show everybody that he is the man. And guys, listen to this. I say Shedeur is going to do it, but it doesn't matter who does it. All I want us to do is win games. All I want us to win games. I don't care who's winning them for. All I want us to do is win games. And if we win games, regardless of who the quarterback, we can bring Baker Mayfield back if all I care. Whoever's winning the Cleveland Browns game, I'm happy with them, and that's what I want. But I'm kind of looking forward to this season. I think we're gonna ride under the radar. We're gonna ride under the radar throughout this throughout this off season, the preseason, and then once the regular season starts, everybody's going to know that the Cleveland Browns is back this year. I really believe that. I just feel good about this football team.
I feel good juju too.
Yeah,
I know it sounds like we've probably said that before. But no, we really mean it this time, guys. We feel something special in the water here.
I feel it.
If we can delude ourselves into it, that's fine with me, guys. Honestly, it's kind of like an Arrested Development.
Did you hear what he said? Listen at him.
Hey, one of the world's best drugs is delusion.
Yeah.
So Browns fans have it in spades.
I know.
That's fine with me. Hanford will honestly go like kind of rapid fire with these. But like, name one guy in the linebacker room, cornerback room, and then we'll go. What do you think? I guess offensive line again. I need 3 names who all need to really pick it up for this season.
I'm going to start with the wide receiver. It has to be Jerry Jeudy. Have to keep performing like he's been performing. We have to have him back in full strength. I mean, just back at it. And then we got, I'm trying to see, who is all the, boy, we got so many guys in that linebacker room. You like, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. What
do you think about the rookie, Gab? Carson Schlesinger?
I feel like would be bad. Speaking of juju, I feel like it would be bad juju to like already come out of the gates with low or murky energy towards these rookies.
Right.
We gotta have that energy that we're believing in them, and that's why we have these guys. Yeah. So it was the same with when we were talking about Mason Graham. It's like, maybe you were a little boomer about it at first, and then you realize, like, no, these guys, a lot of thought went into picking these guys and having them, and just let them show up, give them a chance. So let's put that good energy there. I'm banking on it.
You know who I can't wait to get to the cornerbacks. You know who I want to come out of that room?
It's got to be Newsome, right?
No,
really,
Mitchell.
Okay,
I want to see Mitchell. Yeah. What number does he wear, Pat? 29.
Yeah.
Come on,
there it is.
And that's not why. Just because he wears 29. I just honestly watching this guy, I think he can play. And I think he's going to emerge, and I think he's pretty much an outstanding player right now. So I'm really excited about watching him to see what he's going to do. And I had a chance. I keep saying I was over practice, but I had a chance to talk to my boy Emerson.
Okay.
And he had a little bit of rough going a little bit during last season, but I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to be just fine because he'll go out there and he'll compete on every single play. So kind of excited about that.
Yeah, guys, honestly, one last one from me, and I want both of your opinions here. The one that needs to pick up the one the most is actually not even a player. I think for the 2025 season, the X factor for the Cleveland Browns is actually Kevin Stefanski.
I was going to ask you if there was any coaches.
I think it has to be because
coaches that of.
You know, you had the Alex Van Pelt experiment. You had the Ken Dorsey thing that was an abject failure. You know, you're coming back to the wide zone offense in 2025. You get Joe Flacco back, who you had a playoff run with. Who knows if he'll be the starter? But this is your system again. You're coming into what? It's year 7, 8, whatever it is with Kevin. Make your mark this year. If you get back to the playoffs, this is probably, I mean, it could be right up there with that 2020 season with Baker making the playoffs and beating the Steelers. It's all in his court right now.
And guys, and Gab, is it fair to say that we all still have confidence in him, Stefanski?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I do. I mean,
I've wavered, but I think I'm back.
Yeah, I think
we're and that's. Did you dilute yourself?
Yeah,
diluted
and diluted.
Dilute. Both of them. I'm not out on Stefanski whatsoever.
I think we still, like you said, we all have confidence in him. I mean, you're talking about a 2-time coach of the year. I mean, again, they don't just give out that award. I mean, you have to win that award, and he's won it twice. So I think he's ready to go, and I think he is a big part of the reason why I think we're just going to lay under the radar for a little bit, and then once the season starts, we're going to come out like fire.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're going to go around the AFC North, brought to you by our friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager and lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer-flavored beer. You can find local retailers who sell Garage Beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, Hanford, I know this is a long-awaited segment and question here, but a lot going on around the AFC North. How about this Aaron Rodgers signing? I know you are always saying, like, if Mike Tomlin's waiting this long, there must be something cooking here with this Aaron Rodgers.
That looks strange, doesn't it?
Situation.
Well, I'm laughing. I got a smile on my face because you said that Tomlin must have had a man crush or something. Mike, I didn't say that.
Break.
Now, Gabby said that. I just want to get that out to it.
Here's what I'm feeling. These guys must have a crush on him or something because, like, yeah, the weight, and then also how much different is he than Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, how old is he, 41?
Yeah, I think he's 41. Gab, that's a perfect point,
is he that
too.
much better? It just feels like there's something odd about it, but, Mike Tomlin's so smart, so what are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, I'll say that Tom Brady was 43 when they, and I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is Tom Brady, but the point is Tom Brady was 43 when they traded for him and they won a Super Bowl. So I know that's pretty much what, they're thinking along the lines. But like you said.
But isn't he injury prone? Didn't he just come off a...
Yeah, but
I mean, that spooks me, but... Yeah,
but I knew something was up. It had to be because Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a very, very smart coach. He's a coach, one of the winningest coaches in the National Football League. He's been around for a long, long time. And for him to sit there throughout the draft, free agency, everything that's going on when Kirk Cousins is still there saying that he won out, I guarantee you Mike Tomlin had already cut a deal or with Aaron Rodgers. He had met with Aaron Rodgers or talked to Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers must have told him that at some point that he was coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it just proved everybody right because now they have him signed, sealed, and delivered. He is a Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a 1-year deal. I think it was a little bit over $13 million. And Pat, I think how much is that is guaranteed? About 10
million guaranteed.
Yeah, about 10 million of that is guaranteed. So again, AFC North, you got another quarterback. You got Lamar Jackson. Aaron Rodgers has joined we have Joe Flacco.
Guys, the weird one to me is if you look at on the sports books, the Steelers Super Bowl chances, they jumped from plus 3,000 to plus 3,000. So I don't know if this moves the needle for you guys at all, but I don't think I think you're spot on, Gab. I don't think he's really that different from Russell Wilson
or Justin Fields. I don't know.
Honestly.
Well, but guys, I mean, and again, we all know this. What we think don't matter.
That is so
it's
true.
what Mike Tomlin thinks. I mean, I wouldn't have waited that long.
That's why my ears are perked
Well,
up.
I
I'm
agree.
like, huh.
Yeah, I agree.
So there's something that Mike's got up his sleeve here.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. There's no way I'd have passed up on all his talent and waiting for Aaron Rodgers. But he wanted to see him. But enough of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They make me sick anyway.
You did mention, okay, yeah, Pat.
Yeah, sorry, real quick, guys. I just thought of this on the spot here, but wouldn't you rather, during the draft, we were at Pure AV, I watched Nick, Ryan, and a bunch of other people. They breathed a sigh of relief when Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart didn't go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got Will Howard in the 6th round. I think that's a pretty decent pick. But don't you feel so much better that the Steelers don't have a true franchise quarterback for years to come? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a pretty good quarterback at the best of times.
Sure.
But the Steelers next year, 2 years from now, they're still in the quarterback wasteland right now. It's kind of an interesting one to me.
Well, I'll tell you this. I agree with you. I was just so happy because when I saw that Shadur was sliding down the ladder there, and when the Steelers, I said, oh my goodness, they're getting ready to pick him and they're going to take him as their quarterback, and they didn't, and I was just shocked.
Right,
I couldn't believe it, but I was happy.
I feel like we got the steal of all steals.
Of course.
However, I will never breathe a sigh of relief because Mike Tomlin is just too great, and I can never count him out for just being able to finish when it matters or get to the playoffs. I know that they want more, obviously, don't we all? But I mean, some of us don't always get to the playoffs, and so
That's right.
yeah, no sighs of relief. In fact,
They have that streak of winning seasons. So I don't know if this one, 9-8 this year it's not too far fetched for the Steelers, but
yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't scream that they're going to be 13-4 or whatever it is this
Sure.
year. So.
Well, and all the teams, too, in the AFC North has gotten stronger.
That's right.
I mean, they are just loaded, and they just keep loading, and loading.
It's going to be new faces there, too. So DK Metcalf, who they just traded for, he skipped a lot of the OTAs, and we'll get into this here in a second here, Hanford. But what do you think, how long as a DB do you think it takes for a quarterback and a wide receiver? How long do you think it takes for them to get on the same page in the offseason?
Well, I think they'll be okay. I think, and they're getting ready to start, like I said, like everybody else, they're getting ready to start a mandatory mini camp, and I guarantee you, just because he wasn't there at OTAs, he'll be there at mandatory minicamp because he understands that there's a connection that between the two of them that they have to establish. And I guarantee you he's going to be there. He's going to be there. So I would say they can get it done throughout training camp because training camp is not short. It's long, even though, they've cut it a lot. It's a lot different than when it was when I played. Because the two-a-days, there's so much you can't do to these players. You can't practice them. They can only wear pads so many days. But I guarantee you they will be able to accomplish that during training camp. Speaking of the AFC North, let's jump to the Baltimore Ravens.
I was going to go there next.
Yeah, I know you were.
I could
look at you and tell. Sometimes I read your mind there.
Well, that one's easy because I know that's our natural next step is we got Ozzy. After we go from Browns and then our arch nemesis Steelers, we're going to definitely take a look at Ravens and what Ozzy and company have cooking up over there.
Man, it's crazy what they're doing. And, again, they just gave a lot of money to the receiver, Rashad Bateman. They signed him to a 3-year, $36 million contract extension. And $20 million of that is guaranteed. I mean, they're trying to shore up their wide receiver room so Lamar can have someone to throw to. This Bateman we're talking about, he's only 25 years old. He's what they call their big play weapon, and he's averaging over 16 yards a catch. And I think he was a first-round pick back in 2021, I want to say. But look at some of the wide receivers they have in that room now. They got Zay Flowers, who's coming off a Pro Bowl year. They got Hopkins, who they I think they signed. And some of the notables and some of the other moves that they made, guys, nose tackle, Jenkins, we all know they drafted this kid, Malachi Starks. I mean, I think this kid is going to step right in and be going to be a superstar right away. And again, go ahead, Kat.
I was going to say, did he tip you off at any of this news with the cornerback that's on the market now?
You talking about the guy that just
Alexander.
Jair Alexander.
Yeah, that was just released. The two-time.
I think there was talks that the Ravens or Eagles might try to get.
I would hate to see him in Ravens purple. Yeah, Jair Alexander, because I mean he's a great cornerback. He got hurt and stuff, but at one point in time he was right up there with the Sauce Gardners of the world, the Pat Surtains of the world. He's right there, top 5. But he's gotten injured a little bit in Green Bay. He's kind of overstayed his welcome. I'm surprised they didn't trade him and then just ended up releasing him. But he could go to a winner, man. If he goes to the Eagles, look out NFC.
Well, guys, also too, as I didn't even get to this talking about the Ravens. Eric is in the process right now of talking to Lamar Jackson to sign him to an extension. And, Lamar just signed a 5-year, $260 million contract in 2023. And since then, I think he's had a Pro Bowl and an MVP added to his resume. And what that's going to do is that's going to free up, I think there's a bunch of guys that they have to sign. Mark Andrews is one of them, the big tight end. Kyle Hamilton, who is their free safety. Well, they're kind of everything safety. He plays a little bit of everywhere on that defense. That's going to be some of the guys that they need to sign. But, guys, Lamar, like I said, he signed that 5-year, $260 million contract. You know who signed the big contract? Quarterback, Buffalo.
That's right.
Buffalo. Josh Allen signed a big deal. It was $350 million. So we all know Lamar is gonna go over that. But I have to jump over to the Cincinnati Bengals, guys. The Bengals just released now Jermaine Pratt today, and
he was a team captain.
Yeah, he was their linebacker, and he was ranked in the top 10 in the NFL last season in tackles, and like you said, Gab, he was also a team captain. So that was pretty interesting. But then Pat, what they're probably trying to do is probably trying to get some money.
Yeah.
That's what they call the old cap casualty.
Yeah.
They're trying to free up some money for him. I mean, Jermaine Pratt, I don't think he was under a huge contract or anything like that. But I mean, if you look at that, guys, he was a very productive player. I mean, he was really critical to. I know the Bengals defense really struggled, so it's hard to say like the leading tackler of a shitty defense. Like I understand that doesn't count for that much, but of the few pieces they did have, he was a good one.
Yeah. So it's so that again that AFC
they're
North.
They're saving they're saying $5.6 million in salary cap space.
It all counts at this point.
Yeah, I get it.
But you know what's funny though? Whenever we think of the Cincinnati Bengals, we don't think of a team that's spending a lot of money. And we all know they paid your
my lookalike.
Yeah,
not my crush. We look like we're related.
Yeah,
my twin.
Yeah, but we don't think of the Bengals as being a team that spend a lot of money or want to spend a lot of money, but now they don't have a choice because everybody else in the AFC North is spending a lot of money. Not only the AFC North, but the National Football League.
Right. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show as we round out our show with Hanford looking all dapper today. It's as if you knew that we're celebrating a birthday. As of shooting this show, we just want to give a shout out to our buddy Josh Cribbs. Happy birthday to you, another Cleveland Browns icon here in town, and of course part of our Big Play Network. So we just wanted to send some love.
Happy birthday, big dog. Happy
42 years young.
B-Day. Boy, you better watch out. you know, once you hit that 40, dog, that's all I'm going to say. You better watch out, Josh.
Man. Hanford, we were talking about this in the break, too, but in the 80s, too, like having a guy like Eric Metcalf, what was it like to have, incredible special teams players on punt return, kickoff coverage as well? Kind of changed the game. You know what? A lot of people underestimate how important it is to have great special teams in the National Football League. They basically just think of the defense and the offense, but special teams are crucial. And you hit it right on the head. We had Eric Metcalf, and you're talking about a guy that was just special. I mean, absolutely special. I used to watch some of the runs and some of the things and some of the big plays that he made, and punt returns, kickoffs, and all that stuff. And I said, did he actually do that? I mean, are you serious? I remember my first year coming into the league, and we had a little guy, and most of them, Josh with the exception, most of them are not very big guys. But I remember we had a little guy named Dino Hall. That's a name I'm taking way back because here I am. I was, I was just a rookie coming in here. We had Dino Hall, who was pretty much our guy on special teams and,
punt returns, kickoffs, and all those things. And I'm telling you, Dino did it pretty well himself. I mean, he was a pretty darn. I mean, he wasn't as good as Metcalf.
Hanford, how tall was Dino Hall?
Dino probably, I want to say 5'5".
5'7", they tell me.
5'7", okay.
That, looking at this picture in here,
You know they fudged it a little
bullshit.
bit. They fudged that. They had to have fudged that a little bit.
Bullshit.
That's why.
Look at that guy.
That's why. Yeah,
Look at that guy.
That's why I said 5'5". I mean, Dino. I mean,
In cleats with the helmet, he's 5'5".
and
awesome.
you know, back then they would let you hit those guys.
Oh, yeah.
So I was sitting there saying, "Oh my God!" Every time Dino touched the ball, I was like, please don't hurt Dino. But you talking about a tough son of a gun. I mean, a tough son of a gun, and he was good too. Thank you, Dino. But again, Josh,
so
happy
cool.
birthday, Brick Dog. Happy birthday.
That's a wrap for our show this week, Hanford. There you go. We'll see you next week.